Hey there, it's Hesu, and we are talking about loneliness, something that I believe is universal. We've all experienced it. So have you ever noticed that you can be in a room full of people and you still feel that inexplicable feeling of loneliness? Something to think about is that being alone in a space is a fact, right? But loneliness is a feeling. And being alone and loneliness are not mutually exclusive. So like I said, loneliness, this feeling, how do we start thinking about this feeling, and then how do we address it? So first things first, we are hardwired to pay attention to pain, to discomfort, to scary things. Why? To protect ourselves, to make sure we have a plan of action to protect ourselves from these things like pain and scary things. Loneliness is painful, and so it makes sense that we pay attention to it when it comes up. Sometimes a person or a thing or an event can trigger that feeling of loneliness or even the memory of feeling lonely, which can then make us start feeling even more lonely. Humans are social creatures, right? We seek out and find comfort in being around people that we connect with. So this feeling of loneliness could be coming from this notion. Maybe it's a distorted thought, so it might not be reality, but it's something that you're hanging on to that makes you feel like you're missing this connection with other people, or that you're not having the kind of connection that you want with the kind of people that you want. So experiencing this feeling of loneliness, like I said, universal. Everyone has gone through it at some point or another, because we're all seeking out connection, maybe even validation from other people. So when we're not getting that all the time, you can start feeling like you're very, very alone. Studies have shown that loneliness increases levels of high cholesterol, stress, blood pressure, and it also messes with your immune system. So if you find that you're constantly feeling lonely, amongst other things, you could also be experiencing some issues with your physical well-being and health. And that's how powerful this feeling of loneliness and this feeling of isolation can be. Now, what are some ways to address loneliness, handle it, feel better when we're experiencing it? So first thing, which might seem obvious to a lot of us, and maybe it's not obvious to you, is to reach out for support. Reach out to the people in your life that you do connect with, that you feel good about being with. It could be that it's been a long time since you've talked to these people, but reach out. Reach out to people in your personal life, and if you want to consider, you can also reach out for professional help too. Another thing to do to kind of handle loneliness and combat it is to challenge yourself. Initiate conversations with people. For instance, when you think about exercise, we don't always want to do it, but we somehow are able to motivate ourselves to get active because we know it's best for us. And so it's the same kind of thing. You got to challenge yourself to initiate social interactions with other people. And ultimately, this will lead to more connections with other people that can help you not feel so lonely all the time. And that kind of goes into the next point of practicing altruism and kindness. There's a lot of research out there that shows people that are kind to others and do acts of service out of the goodness of their hearts, not expecting anything in return, feel better. They're not as lonely. I have some thoughts on this, on why this might be, and one of those is doing these nice things for other people can be a great reminder of the interconnectedness of all of us. It can help remind us that we share the sidewalk with so many other people rather than the mindset that we're constantly walking alone. There are so many tools out there now to help you meet other people, whether that's online or through some other kind of community, word of mouth, whether you're into gardening or snowboarding or dragons or surfing, you can find like-minded people out there. And so I would encourage you to make it a priority to find these people that you have common interests with, as that is naturally the foundation of a friendship. And then a deeper connection and having more connection in your life with other people is a great way to stave off the loneliness. Finally, some things to consider is keep your flakiness in check. You might find that you've created plans with people to hang out with them and then backing out of it because you freak out at the idea of needing to be with someone else. But isn't that why you set up the date with your friend or this person in the first place? So sometimes you really have to challenge yourself to get up and go. And then another thing that I think is really important is, again, thinking about this idea that being alone doesn't necessarily mean that you need to feel that feeling of loneliness. So I would encourage you to start thinking about how to feel comfortable being alone. What is it like to just be with yourself, and maybe looking for ways to enjoy this life and this world without needing the validation or external source of joy and support. Maybe it's that you can find those things inside. If you like this video, please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you'll find a lot more content on a variety of mental health topics. And if you're interested in learning more about online counseling, please click the link to BetterHelp.com below.